Okay, so we're gonna begin here with listening. Okay, can you please read?
Sure. So Nick went to the Gower building to look for Jackie Baker, but he couldn't find her. Now Nick is depressed. He goes to the juice bar at his health club. He talks to Patty, the juice bar attendant. Look at the picture. Nick and Patty see the news on TV. Predict. What do you think they see? An interview with Talia and Jackie Baker. An interview with a reporter and Dean Bishop. An interview with his coach and the president of the soccer federation.
What do you
I,
think?
I think it might be the third one.
Okay.
Hey, Nick. It's good to see you again. What can I get for you?
Could I get a large pineapple and strawberry smoothie?
P.S. I love you.
What?
Oh, that's what we call the pineapple strawberry smoothies. One P.S. I love you coming right up.
You look a bit out of sorts. Is everything all right?
No. My life is a mess. Just when I thought things were going great.
What's the matter? Did you get hurt?
Yeah, but not on the soccer field.
Really?
Yeah. It all started when I agreed to endorse some shoes.
Let's see if he's got any comments about this scandal.
Buddy, could you turn it up? To catch up on the news, since I'm going to be the news.
No problem.
Dean. Dean, what do you think about the Nick Crawford scandal?
This is rough on all of us, but I'm not going to comment until we know more.
Do you think the Soccer Federation is going to suspend him from playing?
Well, I really can't say. I'm sure they'll decide as soon as they have all of the information.
What kind of information do you think they'll need to find?
It's hard to say.
Do you
Hold
think
on.
the Soccer Federation is going to suspend him from playing?
Do you see that woman?
Well, I really can't say.
Woman standing behind Dean.
I'm sure they'll decide as soon as they have all of the information.
That's her.
That's who?
It's Jackie Baker, the woman with kicked shoes.
Okay, so what was the answer here?
So it was the second one.
Okay. Let's continue. Can you please read?
Sure. Patty knows something about the woman. Predict. What do you think Patty knows about her? What her name is? What she does for a living? Where she lives? Who she is related to? When she comes to the health club? I think that maybe because when she comes to the health club, she knows her when she.
Okay, any other thing, maybe?
Maybe what she does for a living.
Okay. Let's listen.
Jackie Baker? No, that's Jackie Bishop, Dean's sister. She was a member here for a while, but I haven't seen her around lately. I'm surprised you never ran into her.
I've always admired Nick Crawford. I'm sure he wouldn't risk ruining his career. But whatever happens, I've got Nick's back.
That's her. That's Jackie Baker.
No, I'm pretty sure that's Jackie Bishop.
Something's different. No glasses in her hair.
Ah, it's blonde now, but she keeps changing the color. She's a wannabe actress.
Wannabe actress.
Oh, yeah. She's been at it for several years. She's had lots of auditions, but I don't think she's actually ever acted in anything.
Except for the day she took me to lunch. She's a great actress. She should get an Oscar for her performance.
The Nick Crawford scandal is just beginning to unfold, but one thing is perfectly clear. The evidence is not in his favor.
Here you go, Nick. On the house. I think you're going to need it.
The Soccer Federation is saying he may be suspended and may never play soccer professionally again.
Okay, so what was the answer here?
So it was that what her name is, what she does for a living, and who she's related to, because is the sister of Dean
Okay.
Bishop, Bean Bishop.
Great.
When she comes to the health club, not specifically, but she says that she comes to.
Yes. Okay. Let's move on. We're gonna do these exercises, please. Can you please tell me when you're finished?
Okay, teacher. Teacher, I've just finished the tasks.
Okay. So let's review. Okay, great. So let's move on. Let's listen, please.
Hi. Whew, what a morning. My car broke down. Then, while I was waiting for the bus, I ran into an old friend. So we sat down and waited together and caught up on things. Break down, run into, sit down, and catch up are examples of phrasal verbs. Would you like to learn more?
Okay, can you please read?
Certainly. So 1. Phrasal verbs are verbs that have two parts, a verb plus a particle. Run into is a phrasal verb. Run is the verb, into is the particle. The particle looks just like a preposition, but it is actually one part of this two-part verb. The particle often changes the meaning of the verb. Patty, I'm surprised you never run into her. In the example, run into means meet by chance. As you can see, the verb run plus the particle into has a completely different meaning from the verb run by itself.
Continue, please.
2. Some phrasal verbs are inseparable. This means that the two parts, verb and particle, always stay together. When an inseparable phrasal verb has an object, the object always comes after the two parts of the verb. Reporter, what do you think of this scandal? Dean, I'm not sure what I think of it. I don't have enough information. In the conversation, the noun this scandal and the pronoun it are objects of the verb think of. Both noun and pronoun objects always come after an inseparable phrasal verb. We do not say, I'm not sure what I think it of.
Okay, let's listen, please, to this.
Inseparable.
Can you repeat?
Inseparable.
Inseparable.
Yes, inseparable. Yes.
Inseparable.
Okay, let's
thank you,
continue with number 3.
So 3. Some phrasal verbs are used with certain prepositions when they have an object. We sometimes call these combinations three-part verbs. Three-part verbs are inseparable. Nick, I need to catch up on the news. The phrasal verb catch up means do something you did not have time to do before. We use it with the preposition on when there is an object. We don't use the preposition when there is no object. Nick, I've been so busy. I need some time to catch up.
Okay, great. So we have phrasal verbs that are divided into two parts, like run into. Run into means that you met somebody by chance. Okay, I ran into I don't know. I ran into him yesterday. Or into, let's say, Alexander yesterday. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is that I met him by chance. I encountered him by chance. Okay, so that's in this case, you can't separate run into two parts. You can't say I ran Alexander into. This is wrong. Or I ran him into. Also wrong. Okay, because it's inseparable. Also, some phrasal verbs, well, as we said, are inseparable. That means that it must stay together. And when it has an object, the object always comes after the two parts of the verb. Think of. What do you think of? That's a phrasal verb. What do you think of him? Okay, so this is inseparable because you can say, what do you think him of? This would be wrong. Okay, so you can't separate this. Is there any question with 1 or 2?
Just I have the question if think about is considered a phrasal verb.
Think of, well, basically, that's a good question. Okay, that's a very good question. In this case, I think it would be considered a phrasal verb as well. I think, yes, it would be considered a phrasal verb. It would be a phrasal verb. But I think it's the same. Okay, I think that the phrasal verb, think of, basically is, let's say, equal to think about. Okay, so I think both of them are basically equal. And I don't see why these wouldn't be like the same thing. You could say, what do you think about him? Okay, so yes, it will be a phrasal verb as well.
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Okay. So any other question with 1 or 2?
No, teacher.
Okay. Well, let's do number 3. Some phrasal verbs are used with certain prepositions when they have an object. Sometimes we call these combinations 3-part phrasal verbs. Okay, so here we're gonna see 3-part. They're so-called 3 parts because you would have here, like in the example, catch up on. Okay, so that's why it's called 3 parts. However, the phrasal verb is only catch up. On is the preposition. So catch up on means, as it says here, do something you didn't have time to do before. Okay, so basically we use it when with the preposition on when there is an object. In this case, I need some time. We need to catch up. We need to catch up on I need to catch up on my homework. I need to catch up on some sleep this weekend. Okay, so that means that I need to sleep because I haven't had the time to do so, or that I need to do my homework. That means that I haven't had the time either. Okay, you need to basically do something you didn't have the time to do before. Is there any question, maybe?
No, teacher, I think it's clear.
Okay, let's move on here. We're gonna see gerunds and infinitives. Let's listen.
Hello! Today we're going to practice using gerunds and infinitives. You need to learn which verbs are followed by the gerund and which verbs are followed by the infinitive. I'm sure you can't wait to begin, so let's go.
Okay, can you please read?
Yes, so grammar, gerunds, and infinitives. The gerund is the base form of the verb plus ing. For example, playing. 2, the infinitive is to plus the base form of the verb. So it would be like to play.
Yes, to play. Continue, please.
Okay. 3. Some verbs can be followed by the gerund. Nick, would you mind making it louder? Dean, he wouldn't risk ruining his career. Patty, she keeps changing her hair color. We form the negative by using not before the gerund. Would you mind repeating that?
Continue, please.
4. Some verbs can be followed by the infinitive. Nick, I agree to endorse some shoes. Nick, I need to catch up on the news. We form the negative by using not before the infinitive. I decided to go to the game.
Okay. So here, well, number one, I think you already know. Chairman is the base form plus ing. The infinitive is to plus the verb, the base form. Okay, so I think you already know that.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go to number 3. Some verbs can be followed by the gerund and others by the infinitive. I think we saw that, didn't we?
Yes, you sent me a list of
Link.
verbs.
Yes.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Great. Yes, I did. In fact, here I have it. Okay, so here you have the list followed by gerund, followed by infinitives, and these verbs can be followed by either the gerund or the infinitive, with basically they have the same meaning. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so here you see, would you mind? He wouldn't risk, he keeps. Okay, this is followed by the gerund. Mind, risk, keep. All of them are in the list. So we form the negative by using not before the gerund. In this case, would you mind not repeating that? So that would be like the negative form. Okay, or let's do another one. He admits not doing his homework. Okay, so that's how you form the negative. Is there any question, maybe?
No, teacher, I think it's clear.
Okay, and some verbs are followed by the infinitive. That means that they're on the list here. Agreed, need. See? Agreed, then need. Here it is. Okay, so here we have, I agree to endorse some shoes. I need to catch up on the news. And we use not before the infinitives. I decided not to go to the game. I agreed not to endorse the shoes. I need to not to I need, well, that's a little bit harder, but anyways, we have 2 examples here. Is there any question?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Let's continue here. We're gonna see future time clause, okay?
Hello, how are you? Today we're going to talk about future time clauses. After we look at some examples, you're going to do some exercises. We'll begin as soon as you're ready, okay?
Let's read, please.
Of course. So 1. Future time clauses begin with time words like when, after, before, as soon as, until, and while. We use future time clauses with main clauses to talk about what is going to happen in the future. Dean, I'm sure they'll decide as soon as they have more information. In the example, I'm sure they'll decide is the main clause. As soon as they have more information is the future time clause. Future time clauses talk about the future, but they use the present. Dean, I'm not going to comment until we know more. We do not say until we will know more. The main clause uses the future with will or be going to. Dean, I'm not going to comment until we know more.
Okay, let's continue, please.
2. The future time clause can come at the beginning or the end of the sentence. The meaning does not change. When the future time clause comes at the beginning of the sentence, we use a comma after it. Nick, when I get home, I'll watch TV. Nick, I'll watch TV when I get home.
Okay, so here we're gonna see this. Future time clauses begin with when, after, before, as soon as, until, and while. Okay, so we use future time clauses with the main clause to talk about what's going to happen in the future. I'm sure they'll decide as soon as they have more information. I will call you as soon as I get there. Or I will call you after I get there. I will call you when I get there. So here you have like sentences where you're using the independent clause, the main clause, I will call you, that uses future tense, and the future time clause that uses present tense. Okay, so these examples basically have the same meaning, as soon as, after, and when, but we could also use before. I will call you before I get there. But the meaning, of course, is the same. Is different. I'll call you as soon or after or when. That means that immediately when you get there, you're gonna call. But here you're gonna do that before. And if you use the connector at the beginning, we'll call you. Then you would need to use a comma here, as we have seen. Let's see. Is there any question until here?
No, I think it's okay, teacher.
Okay, can you please create one example with until and one with while?
Okay, so it could be with a comma or not, right? With while.
Yes.
Okay, then I'm not going to the party until I eat my dinner.
Great.
The second
I'm
could be
not going to go.
not going to go, exactly.
Yes, I'm not going to go because you're trying to use the future tense. Okay, with while.
Then while it could be while I'm not sure if he's innocent, I will not Mm, are you anything?
Okay, great. Yes, good job.
Yes, and
Okay.
if he's innocent, there is an if that after
If
not sure
he's a, what's the problem here?
that there is no if after sure. Well, I'm
Okay,
not sure if
well, I'm not sure. Yes, great. That's right. Okay, so if there's no more questions, we're gonna continue. We're gonna work on these exercises, please. Please tell me when you're finished.
okay, teacher. Teacher, I finished.
Okay, great. Let's review. Okay, great job. So let's continue here. Okay, next class, we're gonna have the test, please.
Okay, teacher.
That is on Sunday, right?
Yes, Sunday at 9:30.
9:30. Okay, so I'll put this for 10:30. Okay, let's continue with this. Can you please read?
Sure. Listening. Predict events in a story. Listen for specific information about advice. Listen for main ideas about people's intentions. Listen for details of business agreement on the news. Speaking. Express necessity. Ask questions about necessity. Grammar. Infinitives of purpose. Models of necessity. Participial adjectives. Pronunciation. Reduce phrases. Have to, want to, go to. Got to. ED endings. Reading and vocabulary. Getting meaning from context. Understanding main ideas and details. Writing. Writing technique. Fill a chart. Task. Write a descriptive paragraph. Skill. Draw conclusions.
Any question?
No questions.
Okay, let's move on. Let's please read here.
Yes. So watch the video and answer questions about information and ideas. Learn more about body language and other cultural aspects of the video. Vocabulary. Learn the meanings and usage of these idioms with out of the blue, out of control, out of date, out of it, out of place, out of the question, out of sorts, out of the way, out of work, out of this world. Speaking. Learn expressions you can use to express necessity. I don't have to speak to you. Ask questions about necessity. What do you need? Grammar. Learn to express yourself using infinitives of purpose. I went to see Jackie Baker. Models of necessity. I've got to make sure he believes me. Participial adjectives. I'm so disappointed. It was really interesting. Task listening. Listen to the news about the soccer player's new contract. Fill in the details of the contract. Pronunciation. Practice your pronunciation of reduced phrases. Have to, want to, got to. I really want to introduce you to him. ED endings. You missed a great party the other night. Reading. Read a magazine article about how to negotiate successfully. On the web. Research websites about customs and traditions around the world. Write a paragraph about how you would negotiate with someone from another culture.
Great job. Any questions?
Only with the meaning of out of sorts.
Out of sorts means that basically you have a when you have like something that is maybe like when you feel when you have a bad day, you feel unwell. You feel
Like
you
sick
feel
or
annoyed.
something.
What?
Like you feel sick or something like that.
Yes, yes, like you not sick, like but unwell, upset. Not
Upset.
like upset, yes, upset, annoyed.
Okay, teacher. I think
Any
it's
other
okay.
question? Okay, let's move on. Can you please read?
Sure. So Talia is at work at the Newsline office the day after he visited to the Gower building. Amy's talking to her when a visitor arrives to see Talia. Look at the picture. Predict. Who do you think is the surprise visitor to the Newsline office? I think it might be Nick.
Okay, let's listen.
I'm so glad I went to that class last night. It was really stimulating.
Well, Talia, you do look a little more upbeat today.
Well, my mind is still spinning around this whole Nick Crawford affair. I just don't know why.
You know what? You missed a great party the other night. Josh's friend Matt was there. I really want to introduce you to him.
I completely believed him. He can be so persuasive, so convincing. I'm so disappointed. I feel like such a fool.
Look, Talia, you're no fool. Don't be so hard on yourself.
But I was convinced Nick was being honest.
It really is a shame, though. I was hoping you'd break this big story and become the top reporter at the station. Then I'd be your assistant and you'd give me a raise.
Well, haha, nice try. But I'm so depressed. The situation is so disappointing.
Don't look now, but the big storyteller is here.
Talia, Nick Crawford is here to see you.
Talia, I've got to talk to you.
Hello, Nick Crawford. I'm Amy Lee.
Talia, listen. I know who's responsible for this mess.
Oh, I've heard that before.
Okay, forget it. I don't have to speak to you. I'll give my story to the other reporter. What's his name? John Donnelly.
Okay, so yes, it was Nick. Let's read the other one. Okay, can you please read?
Of course. Nick tells Talia about what happened.
No,
Predict-
from the beginning,
Okay. Nick is in the Newsline office talking with Talia. Nick tells Talia about what happened. Predict. What event do you think he tells her about? Maybe his conversation with Dean?
Okay, let's listen.
I'll give you 2 minutes. But if you lie to me,
Oh, you won't be sorry. Okay, I went to see her. I went to see Jackie Baker.
there is no Jackie Baker.
You're right.
So you admit that you lied.
No, I didn't lie. Jackie Baker, or whoever she is the liar. She's a con artist.
There you are. Right on time. We've got reservations for lunch.
Great, where are we going?
It's a little place just around the corner. It's called Ozone. We can walk there.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I hate doing business in my office. It's so much more pleasant to talk over a good meal.
Then over lunch we talked about the deal.
So, just sign here. It basically says we'll pay you $100,000 to endorse the shoes.
She tricked me. She and her brother Dean, they wanted me out of the way. Dean's the next in line to be the star center forward.
Wow. This is mind-blowing. So, what are you going to do now?
I'm going to the team office to talk to the coach. I've got to make sure he believes me.
Okay, what was the answer here?
So in fact, it was that he talked with Jackie Baker, the story about his meeting with Jackie.
Excellent. Okay, so let's finish here. Okay, I'll see you